Hello, Well Diva, and welcome to day 2 of our 21-day peace practice. I am Renee Mitchell Simpson, owner of Well Diva Lifestyle and Travel, and I am your self-love and happiness coach. And today I'm here to talk to you one about my absolute favorite topics, and that is boundaries, honey. We use boundaries as a powerful tool for protecting our peace. I truly believe the real way to true happiness is through self-love, and nothing says self-love better than setting and enforcing your boundaries. Your boundaries are the limits that you set to let others know how far they can go with you. Your boundaries will protect your peace, your well-being, your personal belongings, yourself, your physical body, and anything that concerns you. You set up and establish and enforce those boundaries to make sure that you're speaking up for yourself and you're telling yourself absolutely how much you love you. Now, some things that boundaries do for us include protecting our energy, as I mentioned, but also preventing burnout. You know how your boss wants you to do this, that, and the other? Your boundary is no. This is my time. Boundaries also help you to cultivate healthy relationships. One reason this is especially important for Black women is because growing up, a lot of us didn't experience or even learn how to set up healthy boundaries. A lot of us are raised with, particularly our mothers, letting us know that, she's Queen Bee. And a lot of times, like our older Black women were taught us that, as children, your opinions don't matter. As children, you don't have any privacy. As children, you don't have those toys are not yours. I bought those toys. All this craziness. So that's why this is really important for us, in particular as Black women. And then we'll also notice that our men have a lot easier time setting up boundaries. But when women try to establish boundaries, y'all, what do we get called? Okay, we get called witches and bees and all that, and that's not okay. So I really want you to just think about areas of your life that maybe you have been taught in your upbringing, or maybe in how you were handled in maybe a long-term relationship, or even at work. Where were you taught that it's not okay for you to have boundaries? Now, what do boundaries look like? Well, we have our emotional boundaries. Those will protect our feelings, our energy, our vibration. I kind of use those interchangeably. Our energy, our emotions. Our emotions are our energy in motion, okay? Think of it that way. So high vibration is good energy, is positive emotions. That's your happiness, your joy, your love, your peace. Low vibration, negative, bad emotions. That's when you're hurting. That's when you are experiencing shame or guilt or fear. Those are your lowest vibrations. And then we have time boundaries and access boundaries. We have to determine who we want to give access to us and how much of our time we want to preserve for ourselves, or how much time we want to share with another person. Setting a boundary for time might look like, you know what? You're late and I'm sorry I had to go. Not even I'm sorry. You should be sorry because you were late. I'm setting up my boundary. I had to go. So that's a time boundary. Working weekends when you don't want to work weekends. That's another boundary that you need to set up and enforce. And then there's, of course, physical boundaries. Someone touching you in a way you don't want to be touched, or someone touching you at all and you don't want to be touched. Mental boundaries. That's another one. That's a boundary around your beliefs, your thoughts, your opinions. And that one is key they're all key, but I think about in dating relationships, where you meet someone and you like them, they check off this box and check off that box, but maybe a mental boundary, it needs to be set up. Like they have an idea about something. I recently had to experience this where I had to end a relationship. It wasn't even really a relationship, just getting to know this person and discovering our values are different. And when you ignore those things, you end up in a relationship where you're trying to change that person and how they feel about something, or they're trying to change how you feel. And that's not okay. So what are some actionable steps that you can take to make sure that you are succeeding in setting up and enforcing your boundaries? I would say first, think of a situation, a person, a relationship, something that irritates you that you need to take care of, okay? Get that in mind, and then decide how you're going to openly communicate what your boundary is. Now, you may need to write your script, practice your script, rewrite your script, decide how that conversation is going to go from your end. You cannot determine how they're going to respond, though, so don't even waste your time with that. But put on paper what you want to say. Get your thoughts organized. And then also determine, is this a conversation that needs to be had in person, on the phone, or does this need to be a text or an email or a letter? Because you may need to protect yourself in whatever way you see fit. You don't know how that person's going to respond to what you have to say, right? So sometimes it may have to happen in a letter or a text message, but you need to communicate clearly what your boundary is. Again, you have no control over how they're going to receive it, so you don't worry about that when you're communicating your part. But what you can do is decide how you're going to respond. So my boundary is, hey, I no longer want to have you visiting me after a certain hour, or whatever. And the response might be not what you want. Then you can respond with, well, that's the end of this friendship, situationship, whatever. That's the end of it. And after that, if it really is the end of it, no more communication should take place. That should be the end of it. Like if you need to change your number, put them on block, whatever you need to do, that needs to be the end of it. And then you also need to be consistent, because your boundary is not enforced if you keep changing your mind, if you keep backing down, if you're going to be afraid of the outcome. You need to decide what your boundary is. And that needs to be that, because keep in mind, you are showing yourself that you love yourself every time you enforce those boundaries, okay? Now, I want to say, if the very word boundary makes you cringe, and if all of this seems overwhelming to you, I am available to coach you through this. So you can reach out to me you can try welldiva.com and do your little research on who I am and everything I have to offer. Or you can go straight to heal.me/welldiva, and you can see what I have to offer there as far as coaching, okay? Also, I have a retreat coming up. We have a Well Diva Healing Retreat coming up. It's in late January, early February, still in the planning stages, but that is going to give you another opportunity to explore boundary setting and self-care a little bit more deeply. So visit welldiva.com/retreat so you can get on the interest list for that. But depending on when you watch this, it may just be, you have to go straight to welldiva.com, okay? And look for the upcoming retreat. All right. And finally, I want to say, I know that a boundary sounds like a wall, but I want you to think more of it like a bridge that will help you get from where you are to protecting your peace. Okay? So a boundary really is your best friend. And that concludes day 2 of our 21-day peace practice. Let me know in the comments if you have anything to add to this. Maybe you don't have a problem setting boundaries and enforcing your boundaries, and you have something that you can share with others. Please share that in the comments. And then also, I want to know what step you're going to take today to enforce your boundaries. Okay? All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.